Welcome to the HP Online Teaching Assistant, an initiative of HP Education. Today we will talk about Google Certification for Education. Today I will tell you what you need to know to be able to certify in Google and give tips for the Level 1 and 2 exams. As for today's objectives, learn what Google for Education certificates are, understand how to become certified, share some tips for when taking the exams, and resolve some common questions about the certifications. Let's start. Google for Education has several certificates. It has 5 in the Teacher Center as you in the screen: Certified Educator Level 1, Certified Educator Level 2, Certified Trainer, Certified Innovator, and G Suite certifications. And then there are also the certificates from the Google Digital Garage. These are online courses. On the web, it tells you which ones include a certificate. These I have displayed on my screen are the ones that include certification, but there are many other courses. Today, I'll focus on Teacher Center certifications for Google Certified Educator Level 1 and Level 2. These are especially for teachers who want to show mastery of the G Suite tools for education and the use of these tools in class. Level 1 focuses more on the use of the tools. There are many practical exercises in the exam that you should know well. And Level 2 is for teachers who already master G Suite tools and actively use them in their classes. It assesses those skills of technology integration in the classroom. These 2 levels are necessary if you want to be a Google for Education Certified Trainer, which is another certification that, whoever has it, can train other educators and certify them. These are the steps to apply for this certification. Then there is another level, which is independent of the Certified Trainer, and that is the Certified Innovator. It is very cool because it is given to teachers who manage to incorporate an educational project using G Suite and also Forms Community. That is to say, in order to apply, you must submit a project that explains how you are changing education. Here are the steps to apply. And finally, there is the G Suite certification, which is a more general examination of all the tools, and they are enabled for students as well. So, it's a bit much to show that you have those capabilities to be able to use Google tools in the classroom or in everyday life. You can take a closer look at these certifications in the application steps of each of them with this link. Let's continue. How do I become certified? The first thing you need to know is that there is a page called www.teachercenter.withgoogle.com. I showed to you in one of the first slides. I will open this link in my Google Chrome so you can see it. Here is all the necessary information about certifications, included training. If you go to training, you will be able to see everything they have: fundamentals training, advanced, get started with Google Slides, etc. If I go to certification, you will see the details. For example, if we click on Level 1, here you see the option to train yourself. Sample exam questions to prepare you as well. And the option to register. For example, if you click here on Fundamental Training, you get the whole agenda. In Resources, you can do a search by product. Everything appears here by programs from Google. Then you can explore all the content that is here to help you prepare. Well, once we have trained, we can register for certification. Go to the Certification tab, click here, Level 1, and then register for the Level 1 exam. You get this registration page where you will have to include all your information. Now you may be wondering, what are the exams like? They are 3-hour exams where you go into a platform, in other words, a simulator, where you are working with all the G Suite tools, Google Drive, Sites, Calendar, and so on. And those 3 hours you can't talk, can't copy, and you are being recorded through your camera. So you must have a computer with a camera, and no one can pass behind you because the exam can be suspended. As for the Level 1 and Level 2 exams, there are usually 20 theoretical questions. Then you'll be given 12 practical cases. In some of those cases, you will have sub-cases to do as they ask. What does that mean? Maybe, in a case, you have to create a Google site, and within the site, they ask you to do 10 or 12 things more. So those would be the subcases. Also, you need to pay to take these exams. After filling out the form I showed you a while ago, it gives you the option to make the payment. The price of the exams depend on what you're going to do. The Level 1 is $10 and the Level 2 is $25, so they are affordable. Now, what's the theoretical part? These two are samples of the questions that come up in the exam and what's found in the Teacher Center. Then keep in mind that there are different types: single answers, drag and drop. Careful with the multiple choice because they always tell you how many you have to choose, 2 or 3. Then if you get misled because you didn't focus on your reading, you can fail a question. In the exam, there is an option that allows you to mark questions that you want to review after. My recommendation is to not use it unless necessary. That is, only for questions you definitely are not sure of. Because the platform in general runs pretty well, but when we move from one screen to another, because each question is a screen, it takes a little time. That is to say that if you want to recheck 5 to 6 questions, you're going to lose 5 to 6 minutes. The questions are Google type, as it were Google helping you give your class. Google helps you to not waste paper. It helps you to collaborate. So everything is always with that mindset, that it's a trick. Keep in mind that the exam questions in Level 1 are more focused on the tools, while questions at Level 2 are more focused on methodologies of teaching and learning. Another example of the practical part, which you could find in Level 2, is something like this. They give you a context. In this case, they tell you, you get quite a lot of requests by mail about the event you are preparing. To not respond the same thing so many times, you have to create a predefined answer that in Gmail is now known as templates. Then they give you a series of tasks that you must complete in the simulator, where Gmail will appear, and you have to do all this. Enable Gmail predefined responses, that is, templates. Save as template the following. The event will start at 1500 hours. We recommend arriving half an hour earlier. Kind regards. In this case, and here goes another tip, copy and paste the texts that are given to you to avoid typing mistakes and save time. Call that answer time and event, and here you must copy and paste again. As you can see, these are cases that require you to know the tools in order to complete them. Now let's go with some tips about when taking the exam. Very important. I recommend you use 30 to 40 minutes for the theoretical part and the rest for the practical, so that you don't find yourself rushed with the practical part. I recommend you do the whole exam without using the option to check the question to review it later, unless you really need to do it. Hopefully very few. As I said, if you go back to the beginning, you will waste time. Then also, copy and paste all the statements given to you during the exam. For example, if they ask you to name a class with the title 1.0 Biology of Professor Harris, don't type the title, just copy and paste them. You will save time and avoid mistakes. Another recommendation given is that when you do the exam, it has to be in private mode window, and we have to pin the exam tab. To pin a tab, you have to go to the tab you want to pin. Right-click on the mouse button and select Pin. Then it will stay there and you will know that your exam is always there. That is very useful because when you do the exam, chances are that you will have several tabs open for the practical cases and you may close accidentally the exam tab. And our last tip is that if you do not know something in the exam or you have forgotten it, you can search it in this link, support.google.com. Then you can also pin it so you have it handy and you can look for what you want. The truth is, it's quite good and is allowed in the exam. But beware, being able to search for things doesn't mean you shouldn't study the tools beforehand, because believe me, it won't give you time to investigate everything. This is just a lifesaver that you should not use for all the questions. Here are some of the most frequently asked questions about certifications. What are certificates for? These are professional certificates to demonstrate you know how to use Google tools in your classes. So they are authentic certificates that you can show on your curriculum, and many schools take them into account when selecting staff or organizing an educational project. How long do these certifications last? They have 36 months of validity. That means when those 36 months expire, you will have to revalidate to prove that you still know how to use the tools. So what if you failed those tests? If you failed, you can take the exam again in 15 days. If you fail for the second time, you have another chance in 60 days. And if you fail for the third time, you have to wait until a year. And finally, what must be done to pass the exam? Well, to pass the exam, you have to pass 80% of the exam. It may seem like a lot, but if you know how to use the tools, you will have no problem. Well, that would be all. We hope it will be of use to you. Thank you for watching this video, offered by HP Online Teaching Assistant, an initiative of HP Education.